Hi, Cancer and Cancer Rising. Here is your horoscope for October 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, last month we had some severe eclipses, and they're setting the tone for the next 3 to 6 months for many of you. The first one was in Pisces, up here in the 9th house of higher learning and belief. And so there's a lot changing with your ideology and what you believe in, and your faith and all that other stuff. And that was being highlighted in the 9th house. And then, of course, the solar eclipse on the 21st in Virgo is in the 3rd house of thinking and self-expression. So these two houses represent the communication within yourself and what you believe in and how you express yourself. So this theme will continue this month. But this sets the stage, as I said, for the next 6 months, even up to a year, for it to reveal itself within you. So if you're a Cancer rising or a sun sign in Cancer, this is a very general sun sign reading using tropical whole house systems. And this has to be this way because everyone's birthday is completely different and all the alignments in your chart are going to be completely different. And so we have to just be very general and very basic when we look at it. So we take the sun sign or the rising sign and place it on the 1st house, make all the houses equal so we know where the planets are going. And this is how we determine or have an idea of what is going on in that person or that sun sign's chart. That's how it works, friends. Okay, your birth chart, your actual birth chart is going to be much more accurate because it gives you the exact alignments. And so if you don't have your birth chart, I would suggest you get one. If you need one, I do sell them on my websites, planetswithin.com and josephpanthony.com. You could find them there under the astrology reports. Anyway, but this month we have a lot of things going on in the home and family matter as the Sun and Mercury are making their way through the 4th house. Now, the 4th house is naturally associated with the sign of Cancer. It's the house of nurturing. It's the house of family dynamics. It's the house of feelings. So this time of the year is always warm and fuzzy for many of you. And you're focused on projects around the home or spending time with family or expressing yourself or being creative in the home in some way. And that's the general theme going on here now. But the second half of the month, these planets will go into Scorpio and your 5th house, which is all about creativity. It's basically kicking it up another vibration into love and creativity on some level. And we'll cover that in a little bit. But as we start off the month here, we are looking at all possibilities. As you let go of the past, new things start to come into being. That's what I'm looking at here, especially with Neptune that's going to go retrograde as well for the last time in Pisces. I'll talk about that shortly as well. But the month starts off with Mercury entering Scorpio on the 6th right here. And Mercury is the communication planet. And Scorpio is about digging deep and investigating and getting to the core of the issue and, figuring out psychologically what's going on. But it's in the 5th house. So this is about having important conversations with loved ones. And so you're expressing yourself either to your partner or to your family members, such as children, or you're working on a project that involves a lot of thinking and discovering and figuring out. And so this is going to be very important as well. As you can see here, Mars is already there in Scorpio. So there's definitely an intensity level when we have Mercury and Mars in Scorpio. Scorpio is a very passionate sign. And so it wants to, feel intensity on many levels. So now this gets kicked up a few notches. Okay. And so there's a lot of sensitivity, a lot more sensitivity taking place with that transit. But what makes this very interesting is at the same time, or a little few hours later, the full moon gets activated as well. And that'll be at 14 degrees of Aries in the 10th house of career and status. So for many of you, you're contemplating your position, your job, your relationships, how others see you, your reputation. This is all in the works with this full moon in Cancer. Now, Cancer is, not in Cancer, in Aries. For Cancer, it has a lot to do with being seen and being respected and self-worth. Okay. And so this moon is highlighting this 10th house. So many of you are, either kicking it up a few notches and basically saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. Whether it's your job, a relationship, a friendship, an idea, a concept, whatever it is, you don't want to be seen in the same way anymore. And so this full moon is bringing this to light. And of course, you'll have all this extra energy to do it and the motivation to do it with because of the Mercury and Mars in Scorpio. So just be careful of people with tremendous egos around this time, because the moon in Aries will bring out people that are very egotistical, maybe soldiers, maybe they work in the military, maybe they work for government. These are things that are all associated with the 10th house. That's why I'm using those as examples. Now, Venus enters Libra on the 13th. Now, the dynamics are beginning to shift even more. Venus going through her home sign of Libra in the 4th house has a lot to do with the home environment, such as beautifying, painting, remodeling, changing furniture around, buying new furniture. Venus in Libra likes to beautify things. And since it's going through the 4th house, this is a time where you're feeling extra creative at home. And if it doesn't have anything to do with the home, maybe it has to do with socializing. Maybe you're visiting more people at their home. Maybe they're coming to your house. Maybe you're spending more time with loved ones at home, stuff like that. The other thing it could be involved in is real estate matters or anything connected to the home, like landscaping and making things beautiful outside. Planting, some roses and trees and what like that. That could all fall under this umbrella as well, with Venus going through Libra. But it is very social. It is very much about relationships as well, except that the energy is focusing on the 4th house, which has to do with feelings and the foundation. So maybe you're getting a little nostalgic about relationships. Maybe you're reconnecting with some people from the past. All of that is a possibility with Venus going through this 4th house. Remember, like I said, your own personal birth chart is much more accurate, and wherever this is in there, you'll want to find out where that is. Now, the same day, later on, Pluto begins its forward motion again. So here it is right here in stationary position before it goes direct. And so it's in the 8th house of deep psychological transformation. This is what's turned many of you into investigators, and you're curious and you kind of see more about reality and what it's like, and you're seeing through the lies. And this is absolutely helping you. Now, with Pluto moving direct, going through the 8th house, now you have an opportunity to dig deeper into the psyche of your own well-being, the community, the people around you, society, and you're discovering things at such a deeper level. Maybe you're diving into science, because Aquarius rules science, and you're discovering things at a deep level, like on the quantum physics level, or you're discovering how the universe works at a molecular level, stuff like that. So you're digging really deep into the occult, and the occult just means hidden. And so this is going to help you in the next 5 or 6 months to dig even deeper and discover things at a much more meaningful level for many of you. So keep that in mind. The new moon in Libra on the 20th and 21st continues to highlight that 4th house. So this is again suggesting something to do with beautifying the home environment, or possibly moving, maybe getting a second location, or maybe, doing something to your home that makes it more prettier and nicer and, just feels more cozy. This could also be something like a roommate situation if you wanted to, open your house up to somebody else, maybe even a pet. I'm just putting that out there because that's a possibility. But whatever it is, socializing in the home environment the next 2 weeks is going to be very important with this new moon in Libra. So this is giving you a chance to reinvent this area of your chart and, to basically, reach out and connect and become a lot more social with this Libra energy in the 4th house. Now, around the same time, Neptune goes retrograde back into Pisces for the last time in our lifetime, because the next time it'll be in Pisces is 165 years from now. I doubt any of us will be around by then. But anyway, Neptune going back into Pisces in the 9th house is asking you one more time to look at your belief systems, your religious belief systems, your philosophy, the meaning of life for yourself. What do you believe in politics or understand politics? But Pisces is a spiritual sign. So this has really a lot to do with your belief systems on a higher level in terms of like, what is God? Is God real? Does God exist? What is religion? What does that mean? What is it? Who created it? You'll be questioning all of that stuff as Neptune continues to retrograde back. Now, both of these, Saturn and Neptune, are going to leave this part of your chart in 2026, basically leaving this philosophy or these ideas behind as you go into focusing on your career at that point. And so, but right now, over the next several months, this retrograde will absolutely bring more important subconscious spiritual information to light for many of you. We also have the sun entering Scorpio on the 22nd and 23rd right there. And this is ramping up the creativity even more. Notice all these planets in the 5th house. So either spending a lot of time with children or with loved ones, or romance, or creative projects that are just really grabbing your interest. This is going to be very important to many of you. So the second half of this month looks so much better with the intensity of this energy coming in, because it's water signs like yours, Cancer. Notice there's Pisces, Scorpio, and Jupiter is still in Cancer. So there's a lot of water here, a lot of water energy, which has to do with emotions and feelings. And last but not least, on the 29th, we have Mercury entering Sagittarius, and now you're shifting your attention to work and daily routine, even more so. And there's a sense of optimism that comes with Mercury in Sagittarius. So you're feeling a little bit more optimistic about what you're doing and where you're going and your daily routine. So keep that in mind for the next 3 weeks or so. Anyway, there's the overview. And if you want to know more, I do an extended version of this in my Inner Circle community, as you can see here. I also do the weekly astrology. I teach astrology there. And of course, the members and I meet every Sunday on a Zoom call where members interact. They send me their charts. I answer a few questions for them. And, we have a lot of fun. So consider joining. I left the link down below. There's a 7-day free trial, so there's no obligation. And I look forward to seeing you in the community. All right. Have a great month, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.